Hello, I'm Linda, and this is No Frills ASMR. So, I had pulled out this can of aduki beans this morning, and these actually came from my father in law's house after he passed. I went through and, got rid of all the food that was outdated, and then we put all the food that was within reason and basically gave it away for free at the estate sale. But a few things I grabbed because I was like, what? I've never even had this before. So I did grab this and I haven't used it yet. And I looked at it this morning and it is dated Best Buy March 6th of 2025. Now, after he died, we went through and threw away everything that was, beyond the expiry. Well, I won't even say that. Some canned stuff I just put for free and I said maybe expired. But it really got me thinking about these dates, because if a can is in really great condition like this one, I can't imagine. He didn't buy it that long ago, I don't think, because I just don't think he did. Because I'd gone through his cabinets in the past years when I'd go there and got rid of things that I thought were outdated. But anyway, it kind of led me on a little journey to try to understand the packaging in the United States. The not the packaging, but the expiration dates. And I'll tell you, the ones it seems like is they have Best Buy, and not like Best Buy the store, Best Buy, and then Use By, and then Sell By. And then there's also like Best If Used By, something. They have like a little different wording, but basically these are the ones. And so I was like, what do these things really, really, really mean, especially for like canned goods? And one thing I found out that I found most interesting, and I guess I should have known this, I just don't know if I ever really thought about it, is that there is no like federal or government, they don't set the rules for these things. This is set by the manufacturers. The only thing that is, what's the word I'm looking for? Like there's government oversight on is baby formula. That is one thing that has, I'll just call it government oversight because I don't know how else to, is baby formula. But all these other ones are just manufacturer set. Now, I looked it up because I was curious. In Europe and some European countries, a lot of other countries, I don't know, have government set like rules and regulations about what these things mean. But here, we don't. All right, so my understanding is if something says Best Buy March 6th, 2025, yeah, 2025. I was looking here. I saw 2026, 25. That does not mean it's expired. That does not mean it's expired. See, this one doesn't even say Best Buy or Used By. It just has, oh yeah, it does. Sorry, Best Buy. That just is a manufacturer's, how long they'll guarantee the product will taste good. So it might taste better, but it's still safe to eat. And if you open this up and these beans taste not very good, and you call the company, the first thing they're going to say is, well, what's the Best Buy date? So this is more about the taste of the product. Now, confusingly though, The use by date is what they call a quality deadline. Now you tell me how that's different. I don't know. Oops, I can't fit it. Deadline. And this is also a manufacturer's suggestion, and it's about the peak quality, not the safety, unless it's on baby formula. But if it says used by, that is just telling you when you will get the peak taste from it. So I had a little trouble finding a whole lot of difference between best by and used by. I think they're just different wording. They're both basically, that's when you're going to get the peak quality, and the company will only kind of guarantee that you'll have peak taste until these dates. But they're not unsafe necessarily. We'll get into that. Now there is sell by. And apparently sell by is for the grocery store. This is a grocery deadline. I was like, hold on, what? And they said this lets grocery stores know how to make their displays. It doesn't mean you have to toss it out. It's just more so that the grocery store knows. Huh? Say what? Okay, so what I'm getting at here is these things are manufacturers' way of saying, if you claim our product doesn't taste good, it's past these dates, we're just going to say, well, it's past the dates. But it's not unsafe. So what you want to look for as far as safety goes, on cans, you want to make sure there's no dents, there's no rust, there's nothing, like what else could be wrong with a can? Any cracks, obviously. But mostly, you can buy brand new cans that have dents in it. They'll still say Best Buy, but don't buy those, because as soon as they're dented, then they can have botulism, because there can be these little microscopic like cracks in there that can lead to bacteria getting in there. So don't buy dented cans or rusted cans. But the main thing is, you want to, when you open it, look at it. If it looks funky, if it smells funky, throw it away. Just throw it away. But like canned goods can last for years if they're in good condition. So these dates are, like, I kind of feel bad now for having thrown away some of the stuff my father-in-law had, because when he was still alive, I mean, because they were expired, but they probably would have been fine. So this is July 21st of 2025. So I am beyond the expiration date on these, and these were from my father-in-law's estate too. I use red tart cherries to make cherry topping for Christmas morning, and I just might keep these. I don't know. I have a feeling even if I try to keep them, I'll probably like chicken out and go back, because I wouldn't want to have Christmas morning ruined. All right, and then like here's a can of chicken, and I know somebody made a comment that like I'm so American because I used canned chicken. If I use the term tinned chicken, does that make you feel better? You snobby Europeans. I'm just kidding. Just playing. All right, best if used by 12/30 of 2027, and that's the beauty of a canned chicken, as you can keep it in your cupboard and unrefrigerated, and in under an emergency, or when you just want some quick protein or on the road protein, you got it. Okay, that's my argument for chicken. Okay, now something like this, or what I was really thinking of, is saltines, like the white flour saltines, which I love, by the way, but I don't have any right now. But something like a cracker like this, it says expiration December of 2025. Now, I have bought saltines when I was sick and ate like one sleeve and then had multiple sleeves still left, and they've gone expired. And I will say, or past their best by date, they're not expired, I don't think. I will say that with something like that, it's not that they're going to kill you or be bad for you, but they get stale and they taste rancid. Sometimes the oils will go a little rancid. So if you have expired saltines, you can, first of all, throw away any opened packages, because once they're open, you only got a few days to eat them. But the non-opened ones, you can open. You can kind of take a little nasal appraisal and give them a sniff, and you can taste. If they taste bad, they're no good, but they're not going to hurt you, from all understanding. Okay, and then there's milk. Now this is ultra pasteurized, they call it. I was under the impression from something I read years ago that if it's ultra pasteurized, it doesn't even actually have to be refrigerated. But that's untrue. I looked it up this morning, and they said unless it's in one of those, they're a pack, like they make the kids' milk sometimes in them, and they don't have to be refrigerated, and they're some kind of ultra pasteurized, and they taste like trash. It's not good milk, I don't think. But like this milk has a best by date of August 11th, 2025. It doesn't say like best by or use by, does it? Let's see. Do not freeze, perishable, keep refrigerated. Oh, best if used within 7 days after opening. But they don't even really mention this date. But milk can last for like 5 to 7 days after the sell by date, is my understanding. But the main thing is to open it up, give it a little sniff. You'll know. Sour milk, it smells sour, and tastes sour. Or if you dump it in your coffee and it comes up in chunks, that's a sign. Don't drink that. But yeah, so once you open it, you should use it within a week, and you can use it for about 5 to 7 days after the sell-by date. But I honestly probably wouldn't, because nowadays these on these ultra pasteurized, a lot of times the date is way off in the future, like 2 months. So I would probably drink it by then if I were you. But all right, now eggs are kind of interesting, because eggs, they put a sell-by date, July 12th, 2025. So these have gone past their sell-by date. Now we know the sell-by date is for the grocery store. So the grocery store sees that and says, well, I'll tell you two things. These are past their sell-by date. Now, I remember hearing, I don't know if it was on like that Michael Pollan documentary or one of those, that as soon as that comes up, they take them out. Oh no, I was going to do a test with this egg and it has a hole in it. It's frozen. Shoot. I'm going to run downstairs in a minute, but let me finish what I was saying. That they change out the eggs and put them in a new container because they last so long. But I read if that was a myth or not, and it seems like maybe that was untrue. There's no law against it, and if the containers get crushed or anything, they are allowed to take the eggs and switch them. But I don't know if they actually do that I had heard. They just switch them into a new box. And the reason for that is that the shell protects the egg and actually has a natural coating on it from the chicken that protects the egg. But in the US, they wash the eggs. So then they put mineral oil on the shell to protect it because they wash off that natural coating. I don't know why. Probably because it could have salmonella or something, but there's some things that you gotta go. I don't know about that. But anyway, I have my water here because I was going to show you the test for eggs. Oh, before I do that, I'll tell you one other thing. See this number right here? That is called, oh my gosh, hold on, my brain, a pack date. So there's a 3-digit number, and that is a pack date. And it, would go from 001 up to, you guessed it, 365. So the number on there is the day it was packed, right? So this eggs. Pack date is 164. Oh, I should have brought a calculator. So 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, January, February, March, April, May, June. So somewhere near, and not exactly because some months, but somewhere near June 14th, it was packed. And so once you know the pack date, then you can kind of, have a better idea of how old the eggs are. But generally, if you keep them refrigerated, these will be good for 3 to 5 weeks after the pack date. So that would be mid-June. That would be end of July. And they have July 12th. So they have less than a month as the sell by. So really, these eggs should still be good. But it is July 30th today. So it is well past its sell by date. So I was going to do a test, but that egg has a hole in it. I'm sorry to do this. I'm not going to pause the video. I'm going to run downstairs and I'm going to grab an egg because I had more in this container, but I didn't want them to sit up here while I was filming and get warm. I don't know why, doesn't matter. So I'll go grab one of the other eggs and I'll be right back. Okay. In the meantime, watch this water. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go as fast as I can. Okay. And I'm back. All right. So I found 2 more eggs. Oh my, does that have a crack? Why are these eggs all cracked? All right, so these eggs probably need to go in the garbage because they're cracked. But this one looks pretty good. So what you can do to test if an egg is still good. Here's the thing with an egg. Let me catch my breath. An egg doesn't really go bad. It's not like going to make you sick so much as it just dries out. So eventually what happens is it's porous. Although I wonder if the mineral oil they put on your helps keep this in. But so I forget, something like carbon dioxide goes out and then air goes in and it makes the white more runny and the yolk, I think, more solid or something. So it just gets more and more dry. And that's why you can test it by putting it in water. So if it sinks and it lays flat like this direction, then that's a very fresh egg. If it sinks but then kind of stands upright, that's older but still okay. If it floats to the top, that's a real bad sign. That means it's all dried out and there's air in here. So, are we ready? Should I move it where you can see more? Okay, here we go. 1, 2. All right, so this one, there's a cat hair on here. I swear there's cat hair. It sunk to the bottom, but it's kind of halfway standing up. So it's actually okay. It's okay. What do you think will happen with these cracked ones? Let's see, where's the one with the crack? Look at that, there's a crack. And I probably paid $50 for these eggs with the price eggs. No, I'm just kidding. All right, whoops, I should have just dropped it. There we go. You can see the air bubbles coming out of it. So it's going to sink because it's going to be sucked. It's going to suck in all the water. All right, these just have to go in the garbage. And then look at that one. It has a legit hole. I could blow it out let's try it. Let's see what happens. You guys ever do this Easter where you blow out the egg to make I gotta get through that. I haven't done this so long, I don't exactly remember how you do it. Not like that. Alright, let's try it. Here we go. I'm gonna blow it into the water. Alright, I'm scared. Oh, it's working. Hold on. Gross. Okay. I feel like I need a better hole. Hold on. Let's try that. Pop the thing in there. Okay. How do you get the yolk out? Look at that, I did it. Perfectly hollow egg. I've not done that in ages. We can rinse it out even. That probably wasn't super relaxing. Things are going downhill in a hurry. Look at that. Now you can dry it, you can paint it, and then keep it on your desk. You could put jewels on it. We used to do that when we were kids. Or maybe I should just leave it in here to play a joke. Except the hole's pretty big. Okay, well, that didn't go as planned. All right, now, so eggs dry out. Milk you can usually smell if it's bad. If there is sushi at your grocery store and it has a deadline on it, I wouldn't eat that. I would trust that that's going to be bad. Any fresh fish. Oh, you know how sometimes, like at Aldi, that's a good example, they'll have meat that is on its best by date and they'll sell it like really cheap or at least half off. That's okay as long as you eat it like that day or the next day or freeze it immediately. And of course, same thing. Look at the color, take a sniff, make sure it's okay. But it should be totally fine to eat it within the next couple of days. I've bought meat at Aldi like that a bunch of times. It's fine. All right, so that's kind of that. I'm sorry about the egg thing. I bet that wasn't very good. I may have to redo this. All right, if there were things though that I would be worried about, I would say the canned food is fine, but look for bulges or rusts. Any dense bulges. Oh yeah, if it actually starts to bulge, that would be really bad. Dense. What did I just say? Oh yeah, sushi at the grocery. I wouldn't eat that past its deadline. Any kind of raw. Actually, even like raw fish that you're buying, if it's at its best by, I would cook it that day. I wouldn't wait around on that. Same thing with like ground meat because it's ground up. But like a steak, you could probably get a day or two before you. You know what else? Deli meats. You got to be a little careful with those because they can get what's called listeria growing on them. So you really, if you get deli meats, you want to eat them within 3 to 5 days. And if they start to seem like questionable, I wouldn't do it. So I always buy like a smaller portion. I don't really eat much deli meat anymore, but if I do, I guess lesser portion and just go more often because I think you got to be a little careful with that. If you have leftovers that have meat or dairy in them, they usually say to eat those within 3 to 5 days and to heat them up again. Now, I a lot of times will bring home, pasta or whatever and eat it cold the next morning. But I read about it. They said eat it within 3 to 5 days and heat it. I don't know how you say that, but I guess that makes sense because I think the thinking on that is you've carried it home in your car. So it's had time to possibly grow some bacteria. So you want to be careful with that. I don't know if you guys read the same article I did a while back about leftover cooked rice. I was like, huh? So I did look that up this morning. And cooked rice can grow. Hold on, I took a note because Bacillus cereus, which is a heat-resistant toxin. So they say you want to cool it and refrigerate it within 1 to 2 hours and eat it within 1 to 2 days. And that's even if you cook it at home. What? That one is one I think a lot of people don't know about. I know I didn't. But yeah, it can grow a heat-resistant toxin. That's wild. And then, like, along with the canned foods, any kind of like homemade canned food. I don't want to like call out all the grandmas in the world, but it depends on the kid. Some people know how to do it perfectly. Some people maybe don't. So you want to keep an eye on those. Make sure they smell good and look good and everything, and don't keep them for too long. Would be my advice. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. So this is interesting. The date on the eggs. I think you can look up the actual day it was packed, which is kind of fun. But all right, so there we go. A little something about the Best Buy, Sell By, and Use By. Basically, they're just set by the manufacturers, and I do, not to be like, but you do wonder if they might set them a little early so people turn over product and buy more. But I don't know. I don't know that. I mean, certainly with canned goods, I would think that could be true, but I don't know. Anyway, all right, guys. Well, let me know in the comments if you absolutely hated me blowing that egg into the water. It was like once I started, I couldn't stop, but that wasn't great. And it's honestly very interesting to look at right now. It's like going. I might watch the video and see if that was awful. I don't know. Alright, guys, I'll talk to you soon. So, Best Buy does not mean expired. Use By, these are all just quality. Peak quality. Sell By is for grocery stores, which I still don't really know the difference on. There is government oversight on baby formula, so if you have baby formula at its expiration date, throw that away. Throw it away. And be careful of canned foods that are, dented or bulging or rusted cans. I wouldn't buy sushi past its deadline. One time I was at a gas station and they had an egg salad sandwich in the cooler and it was half off because it had, passed the sell-by. I was like, oh no, I don't like that. Because it's mayonnaise and eggs. Deli meats. You don't want to keep those too long, and if they seem like they're going bad, you might get rid of them. It seems weird because you'd think there's a lot of like preservatives in them, but some of them, first of all, don't actually have as many preservatives as you might think, but they can grow listeria. And then leftovers, I think they're sort of a special category because they sit out at the restaurant, around sit at your table for a minute, and then you pack it up, and then you carry it home. So during all that, it could grow some bacteria or whatever. So you want to eat them within, they say 3 to 5 days. I would argue 3 days is probably as long as you want. But then to heat them up, and I feel like they gave a temperature, it was like 165 degrees. Maybe you could look that up, but to make sure they're hot enough to kill any bacteria that could be there. And then cooked rice, they're saying to eat cooked rice within 1 to 2 days. Now, I never knew that. I used to make rice at the beginning of the week and keep it in my fridge. But it can grow a heat-resistant toxin on it. What? I know, it's crazy. So be careful with that one. But a lot of things like, saltines and even eggs, they more just get bad. They just aren't very tasty and good.